out of their money. But even as far back as 2020, people on Reddit would debate why Big U pretends to be a reformed gang member whilst also openly enforcing the checking in extortion method publicly. People knew that he was living a double life years ago, and this was an open secret in LA. Big U would even be seen in video clips on social media going to film sets where he had apparently forced the production to check in with him, saying that if they didn't, he would be taking all of their equipment.
Movie production in the hood. That's how we do it, you know, man.
Top flight, baby. Yeah.
GB running this here movie set in the hood.
Come on out here.
Coming out here and checking in with GB, getting these movies done. You better know it. You know what I mean? Anytime you want to do movies in the hood, just check it in. We can make sure it's done. Movies, videos. But if you don't check it in,
Oh well. Let's go check your.
we're gonna check you in, all right. We're gonna check in all of your equipment. We're gonna check in all of your equipment.
Big U was openly the gatekeeper for LA check-ins, warning out-of-towners in numerous clips that if you choose not to check in, you're not safe, and you'll suffer the consequences, as well as saying that he too checks in when going to other cities.
When I go to Chicago, I respect Chicago wholeheartedly. I check in. When I go to Atlanta, I check in. When I go places, I check in. And I don't think nobody is safe. I know dudes right now from LA who are actual gang members who have been robbed for their jewelry, who real killers. Like who really real killers. Like if he ever find out who did that, he gonna knock everybody down. You understand what I'm saying? You just caught slipping. You know, that's how it is. You know what I mean? And you try your best not to be slipping. And if you have the means not to, why do it? You know what I mean? And it's just about, sometimes it's about respecting, you know, yourself and then trying to get home. So, I mean, you know, I hear a lot of back and forth on that, but I mean, I don't know that it's a perfect answer other than me, myself, I check in.
But it appeared that Big U even had issues with podcasters like Gilly and Wallow of $1 Million worth of game.
Gilly and Wallow, they got a problem. I come to Philly, them the only two dudes I'm looking for. I don't got no problem with nobody else, no beef with nobody else but Gilly and Wallow right now.
Whack 100 and Loose Cannon would both tell academics that the Rollin' 60s, on the orders of Big U, once stripped Gilly and his son and sold their jewelry for $100,000, with Whack 100 also revealing that Nipsey Hussle allegedly ended up giving Gilly $20,000 back because he felt bad for him.
Man, you better ask Gilly. Gilly,
You know?
You know, Gilly got stripped down by the homies because of
You're
Big
lying.
U.
Wait, Gilly?
Yeah, the homie Rose and them stripped.
We're talking about Gilly the kid. We're talking about the guy with the podcast. We're talking about $1 million worth of game.
Yeah. He got his son stripped down, and they stripped down Gilly.
What do you? Like for what? Like what? What do you mean? Gilly never got robbed though.
Yeah, him and his son got stripped. They stripped him in the 60s. Big U lined them up. They stripped him, took all their jewelry. And did it, came on the stage and said he did it. And they get mad at me like I did it. I ain't did it. I ain't do it. I went there.
No,
Mad at me for
Gilly official from Philly, man. Gilly not going like that.
Gilly had his hands up in the mother air with his two kids. A father that couldn't protect his two kids. That's what he is. I told that, look, bro, don't be popping at me. Cause with another saying, nigga, that from Roller 60 Crip for real. Everybody know that is. He telling you, Big, you lined your punk ass up. Now, if you got your ass robbed over there, you and your kids, he said Nipsey went over there and gave it $20,000 because he felt bad for him.
However, it seems that whatever may have happened repair the relationship with Big U, as they could later be seen acting very friendly with each other. But no one was safe from the Rollin' 60s extortion racket. But it seemed that the biggest targets were grey market businesses that couldn't rely on the law to protect them, particularly unlicensed smoke shop dispensaries, with Big U and his henchmen allegedly running an extortion racket where they would charge protection money to a store and rob them if they didn't pay up. In some cases, robbing them and giving some of the proceeds back if they agreed to line up other robberies and to prove what they were capable of doing. Footage of one armed dispensary robbery allegedly carried out by Rollin' 60s on a dispensary that happened to be owned by Nipsey Hussle and Black Sam would even circulate on Reddit, and this is where Loose Cannon enters the picture. According to some sources, Loose Cannon, real name Tremaine Ashley Williams, had a tough upbringing in South Central LA, losing his father to a death sentence in prison. Loose found himself deep in the politics of LA streets and prison yards, eventually turning to the music business as a producer, making beats for people around him like Nipsey and Draco the Ruler, before turning to rapping himself, collaborating with Nipsey Hussle during his come-up, and allegedly almost getting signed by none other than Dr. Dre, who according to Loose produced his song Bringin' California Back featuring Nipsey Hussle and YG. But in the end, Dr. Dre ended up signing Kendrick Lamar, as he considered him to be the safer choice who didn't have as many potentially disruptive ties to the streets.
Some piece in it, man. Yeah. You had a record with him in 2013, right?
Yeah. Bringing California Back, produced by Dr. Dre with featuring YG.
Hold on, you said produced by Dre.
Yeah.
Dr. Dre.
Yeah.
Like Andre Young.
Yeah.
Oh, worked with Dre?
Yeah.
How closely did you work with Dre on that? You just got the beat, or you were able to?
He when I went to jail, he was like he wanted to sign me or whatever.
Hold on, no. You know why he got platinum plaques? Because his fans followed him. They supported him. They streamed, they download, things of that nature. Nipsey's never been on a world tour. Why? He did not die an A-list artist. That's real. Y'all talking about he was a legend. If he was a legend, why y'all didn't treat him like that while he was here?
Adam would also ask Wack about his phone call with Big U, with Wack responding, lashing out against people who were attacking Big U after Nipsey's death with the conspiracies about him being involved, before giving Big U more praise about his role in Nipsey's career.
What was the phone call with Big U like after those headlines started popping up about that leaked audio?
Oh, we always talk about our white kids, what business ventures we doing next, and things of that nature. Like, we don't have that type of conversation about, they even attacked him, and that was a weird, they last thing was Big U was honoring him at one of his events, so people make it look like Big U and Nipsey was enemies, all conspiracies and all this crazy.
Right.
And the world wouldn't know who Nipsey Hussle was and the magnitude that he was in if it wasn't for Big U.
Right.
During 2020, Wack and Big U would do several major podcasts together, and the two were seemingly on cordial terms. Unfortunately, the following year, there was seemingly starting to be some more serious disagreements, with Big U implying on his Checking In podcast how he was disagreeing with a lot of things that Wack had been doing lately.
Yeah, I just like to call this guy from Wayne. You know what I mean? I disagree with a lot of things he's doing right now. When you get to the point where I can't reach out and talk to you and try to correct you, like, look, we're trying to go down this path, I got to remove myself. I don't mind being chastised. You know what I mean? I don't feel like I'm bigger than the program. And so what people don't understand is that sometimes people can get to that point.
Meanwhile, Loose Cannon, who was still at this point cool with Big U, would release a diss song to Wack instead of 2021, titled Cookout, aka Wack, I Know You're Saying Talking, as well as Wack calling him around YouTube channel whilst around Wack's old stomping grounds in Pacoima and saying that Big U runs the West.
So it's like, Wack, it's like you do all this internet thugging and acting like you just putting it on Paru this, Paru that. Nobody's seen you do nothing. And you beat up a kid that was dumping in Miami. What's the thing? Just like, bro, you did some bus rash and then you acting like you got clout. Then you paid $2 to act like they KKK, but it was construction workers and you paid them $150. All that clout chasing don't equal up to real, bro. We on real time. Like, you talking about let's get down. You don't want to get down with the low nigga, and you could put that on Paru. I bet you on any dollar. You don't want to get down. No, you staring death in his eyes. That's why you want to run with some cowards. Oh, let me call Big U. Let me do this. He don't with you. He's a. He don't with rats. He don't with rat lovers. He don't doing police.
As Luce would explain in a podcast at the time, his beef with Wack started from the producer Marley Marl allegedly scamming $50K from Luce that was meant to go towards getting a feature from the rapper Offset. This led to Luce allegedly beating Mally up and filming the confrontation. This would lead to Wack, who's Mally's friend, to have a problem with Luce, which would then escalate into a full-blown beef.
Yeah, so when I did that, Wack 100 was going around talking about, yeah, we don't with Loose Cannon, he did this, the Marley Marl, cuz can't go back to his hood and stuff like that. I'm like, you in Palmdale, Lancaster ass, like, come on, cuz, like, I'm in the hood every day. Like, bro, what you talking about?
In June 2022, Wack would appear on the Dub C and CJ Mack Show podcast, where CJ Mack would question Wack about all the enemies that he'd been making, with Wack responding that there's only one person who he wishes things could have been different with, and that's Big U.
It's probably only one person out of everything you've been seeing going on that I wish it could have been different.
Right. It's all good.
Right?
It's all good. Yeah.
And that's Big U.
Despite there clearly being some heavy tension between the two, Wack would show him a lot of love during the podcast, saying that he just can't see Big U as an enemy due to their past friendship.
Because I can't mentally see him as my enemy.
Right.
I don't think really in his heart he ain't gonna let nothing happen to me. It's
Right.
too deep. That's like,
Right.
I couldn't face his wife or his children,
Yeah.
right? Knowing I was played a part in anything that had anything, that's just not happening.
But Big U would respond back, saying that he's accepting no apologies from people calling him out.
I don't really address a lot of said on the internet, but I'm gonna tell y'all this. I'm gonna address this, and I'm gonna address this fast and quick. I heard about the little CJ Mack and Dub C interview with that guy. I don't accept no apology from no disrespect my name, disrespect my family, and call me on my name. I ain't cool with nothing. I ain't cool with that CJ Mack. I ain't cool with that Dub C. I ain't cool with none of that, man. And that's all I got to say on that.
Unfortunately for Wack, it seemed that behind the scenes things would reach a boiling point. On the 8th of July 2022, Wack's longtime artist The Game was performing at LA venue The Novo for the release of his Drillmatic album. At one point during the show, the crowd would go into a frenzy when Kanye walked out onto the stage, as Wack 100 could be seen to the side, ushering him onto the floor. Moments before, it seemed like a scuffle was taking place to the side of the stage where Wack and Kanye just emerged from, with some claiming that this was actually Wack being attacked by a group of Rollin 60s, including Big U's nephew Tiny Draws. Once Kanye took to the stage, Wack would find refuge on that stage, standing in front of the crowd, where it wouldn't really be possible to continue the attack. Standing here, Wack would shake his head and whisper to another man on stage, draw a finger to his head, seemingly indicating that there was some brain-dead activity going on. Wack, visibly sweating, seemed to gesture to someone next to him that he would be moving through the front of the stage when the performance ended. Wack would continue politicking to the person next to him and pointing around as if looking for the most effective exit route. He would scratch his chin and continue to look behind him where the issue seemed to have started. As Ye looked ready to leave the stage, Wack turned to clear his path, but in what seemed like an excruciating moment, the Game would then begin to give a heartfelt speech to Ye, stopping him in his tracks. Game would then perform his classic song Dreams that was produced by Kanye, while Wack would whisper something to Ye himself. All the while, Wack would continue to look at what was going on behind him. A drummer then seemed to give him advice on the best way to get out of there, while Wack continued to look over his shoulder. Then, Lil Wayne would take the stage as Wack remained to the side, seemingly leaning back to say something to somebody. Wack remained at the side, tucked away with Ye during Wayne's performance, looking back a lot, and eventually getting into a conversation with somebody up close. At one point, even Ye would start looking concerned, and it seemed to be at this point when they agreed to leave through the front of the stage, right through the crowd. At which point, Wack took Ye by the arm and led him behind the speaker, tucked away so nobody could see where they were going. Ready to step into the crowd, notably flanked by two members of his entourage, Wack would jump off the pretty high stage, get into the crowd floor, and exit through this crowded area. Interestingly, someone wearing a blue cap would months later step by and peer around the speaker to see if Wack was there, but they were already gone. And seemingly after Wack had cleared the stage, during Big U's Artist Corrupt's performance, Tiny Draws and other Rollin 60s would get onto the stage themselves, performing a victory Crip walk. It seemed that Wack wasn't able to completely shake loose, however, as he would apparently be caught up with in the parking lot by a group of Rollin 60s members that included Big U himself and Tiny Draws. A confrontation would ensue, which one 60s member would seemingly film as Wack's car with his family inside. This was posted by somebody who was there online with an incredibly self-incriminating caption saying Wack 100 is a mark, begging to lift that thing up, talking about my wife and kids are here, better act like it, Buster. Someone would also post a clip showing Wack standing at the door of his car with a caption saying the 60s is outside, dead homies. The 2025 criminal complaint would reveal that a day after the incident, Big U had actually recounted the incident in a tapped conversation, claiming to have been there personally, and claiming to have cornered Wack with 15 to 20 Rollin 60 members, whilst Wack was on his own, leading to a standoff where Wack pulled a gun and pleaded with him not to attack. The Rollin 60s members would then take to social media afterwards to brag about Big U's nephew Tiny Draws running Wack off the stage at the Novo and knocking him out.
Wack 100 got we not put on him. And talk this about this his town.
I'm just saying, cuz you talked about every set.
Hold on.
Every guy.
Hold on, y'all hear they verse.
Talked about every gang, every set. Got there, got shocked out, ran to the front and jumped off game stage. Slid out that I officially a buster.
What's your version of it?
My version is, man, Tiny Draws put them bombs on it.
Hold on, we ain't doing no names now. We ain't doing no names.
He put them bombs, he got his mother head knuckled up.
Hey.
Y'all hear that?
I bet, hey, listen, he gonna remember the Novo. He don't remember nothing else in his life.
Hear that? He gonna remember what?
He gonna remember the Novo. So
remember who?
He gonna remember. Oh, he gonna remember not to be saying things that he know he ain't supposed to.
Sick, so you don't talk about us.
A day later, Wack responded saying that he wasn't beaten up and showing his face and head had no injuries, as well as hinting that the video didn't show everything that was going on in the scene, calling the situation a swing and a square off.
Knock it off, bro.
Knock it off. Weird, bro. I don't mind you telling the truth, but stop lying. Cut the lies out. 20 that ain't nothing. Knock it off. Stop lying.
For the record, Wack later gave his own version of the incident, where he suggested that in fact, he had his own people, the same ones who left the stage with him, waiting in the sidelines, and going on to say that he'd been holding a gun so powerful that it made Big U and the 6-0s stop dead in their tracks and leave.
You might not want to admit this, you had your blower.
Okay.
You're begging him not to kill him.
Now stop right there.
Right?
If I got my blower and you 20 deep with hoodies and I'm by myself, right? No begging to plead, that's when you really do it, right? What do you think my mentality was? For a dude not to approach me and you come to get me, and I jump out my car, talking, what kind of conversation you think I'm having to make a dude say, don't nobody move?
I agree with you.
I feel like talk. Third, y'all out there?
You probably
I'm about to expose something nobody ever knew. So here it goes, right?
Ground zero.
All of this is a parking lot, right? I'm here. They walk down. They walk right past my car. They didn't even see me. When I seen them get here, I jumped out. Y'all looking for me? Right? They stopped. They was to me. Y'all, I had everything I had. I could have dealt with everything in front of me. Now, what they didn't know is I'm talking to my team. Big Unim is here. Now, watch this. Look, watch this. Big Unim is here. I'm here out the car. Third, who was here, and here?
Taking it.
Hold on. Third, who in that parking lot when I'm confronting 20 Crips was 20 to 30 feet in every direction and they didn't know it? All my homies was behind them.
That's new information.
Listen.
That's new information, man.
So listen, check this out. So when I'm letting you know, there's no need to beg nothing. What did I tell that fool?
Let's do it.
My home, they still don't know to this day that all my homies was positioned 11 o'clock, 2 o'clock, 6 o'clock. They didn't even see them.
Despite Wack sharing his more explosive side of the story 3 years later, at the time, people were heavily clowning Wack as blogs would report that he was knocked down. Draws would later claim responsibility for the attack and claim that Wack was punched 3 times backstage and then ran onto the stage to avoid the 60s, as well as saying that they were aware that Wack had people with him in the parking lot and that none of them jumped out and did anything.
I talking about two total incidents. He ain't talking about the right. Whatever happened in that garage, I don't know. Bro, that time when he went in the garage, it's like about 10 minutes prior to Cuz jumping on stage. That's the crazy part.
That guy said he was taking Kanye to the car, but ran into the car his damn self.
Man, no, that wasn't. That just walked from taking Kanye to the stage, and he was walking on stage, and he was walking upstairs. Corrupt was going downstairs to go perform. We so happened to run across Cuz as he walking up. It's like how the stairs curve.
Yeah.
As soon as he walked up, the got dope fiend and then got hit again. And one of the little security that was with him pump fake like he had a blower and took off running. They ran all the way back to the stage, chased down the hallway. They ran through their little security. Security was trying to stop us from getting on stage. He bow guarded them. Them was already hopping down on stage, going to their little exit, whatever their little plan was. Wherever they got out from down there on the bottom of the little stage area is exactly what I ran to. When it got to his car. The show wasn't even over. DJ Quick didn't even perform yet. The gang didn't even perform yet. He left like an hour or two before the show was even over, and we stayed.
Yeah.
When he got to that parking garage, I can't tell you what happened. I wasn't there. But inside that, all that bullshit talking, it was
10 against one, then 18 against one, then 20 against one.
That's
What
how I'm
incident is
gonna
you talking about?
This would then lead to Tiny Draws jumping on Clubhouse with Wack to argue about the incident, with Tiny Draws arguably incriminating himself and threatening Wack, saying that Wack was lying since he wouldn't swear on his gang that the incident happened the way he said it did.
Put that on Pyro.
Who is you though, bro?
This is Tiny Draws, Cash.
Well, what are we talking about?
We talk about what happened when you walked up them stairs. Put that on Pyro.
What happened?
You didn't get smacked in your head, and you didn't get socked in your face.
Touch me. You
Bro, put that on Pyro.
Why you nigga? You want me to
put
send a
that on
picture?
Pyro?
Hey, you did you or no
man,
other?
Man, look, bro, put that on Pyro.
Did you or no other touch
Man,
me?
look, I'm not, bro.
Your uncle bitch draw got drew down on.
You put everything on Pyro. Put that on Pyro. When you came up them stairs, smack you in your head.
You
put that on Pyro.
My head. Where you
put that on Pyro. Put that on Pyro. You didn't run on that stage.
Sent the picture with my eye circle
bro,
like it was my eye.
Bro,
so was it my head or my eye? I put that on your raggedy ass mama.
Put that on Pyro, bro.
Nah,
that's all you gotta do.
Now, for the record, here's DJ Academics reacting to the whole situation at the time. Ack jokingly pointed out the seriousness of the Clubhouse conversation, adding that Wack seemed to be isolating himself similar to 6ix9ine, but isn't rolling with enough security.
Wack, the game had a concert. The game had a concert. Do y'all believe the big Pyro Wack got hit, man? Do y'all believe it or not? I've always said this. First of all, I do look at Wack as somebody with tremendous respect. I've watched him over the last couple of months, though. It's been interesting. I believe that Wack has completely isolated himself away from a lot of people that we would also consider either powerful or have some type of presence on, whether it's the West Coast or, you know, within the game. I ain't gonna lie to you. Some people have said that Wack is taking the 6ix9ine approach on some.
Ack would also add that Wack rarely gets confronted in person, but his comments about the Rolling 60s Crips and Nipsey has got him into a beef with who are really about that life.
Only thing that's on the table to protect is the artist interest. And here's the thing, it don't seem like the game got beef with some of these people that Wack got beef with. For example, the dude who's arguing with Wack is saying, yo, after we punched on you, we partied with the game. They are involved with their own 60s. They seemingly feel away. I guess this Tiny Draws dude, because he said he put it on Neighborhood Crip. They feel a certain type of way about it.
Funnily enough, Brick Baby would also react to this incident too, claiming to have actually personally been there as part of that group of 60s trying to rush Wack, and making fun of Wack for escaping through the crowd and getting caught in the parking lot.
And we were still with the cop. Dead hungry. It was that deja vu game after that. 6-0. Shout out nigga, Magic and nigga, Black. Weird. You old Karen. Yeah, slapped the out you. Yeah, the message was clear. You 6-0. You got pieced up. You jumped off the side of the stage. Everybody know the backstage of the Novo. You know how you got up off the stage or out the fans. You jumped in between the speakers. 6-0. Stop playing. Came out the back door. Seen it. Thought you saw a ghost.
The beef would continue after this incident. In September, Big U would seemingly throw more shots at Wack.
We ain't cutting no grass. We ain't cutting no grass?
No, we ain't cutting no grass.
Night bud.
Know about that thunder though.
Somebody said they pull up. Oh.
Pull up?
No, it's a female.
But she can pull up too. She can come get a picture with the champ. Listen, man, I don't think y'all know this, bro. If anybody got anything to say about the big homie, cuz I'm on him. Like I told y'all before.
You better start acting like that.
Anybody got anything to say about the big homie, I'm on him.
You better start acting like that.
And then, in October 2022, Wack would explain in an interview how his relationship with Big U had gone sour, saying that it had happened after Big U and Suge Knight had contacted Wack's label, suggesting that Big U should take over all of Wack's contracts, with Suge adding that Big U was the only person in LA that Wack was scared of.
Any situation that has something to do with me, whether I knew about it beforehand or not, he was also there for me. If that's what he needed to do. The fallout, you know, once again, the two-headed snake, here comes Suge. Get a call from my label, D1. They said, man, we really want to tell you this, but you know, Big U came down to see us. I'm not thinking nothing of it. He has already signed to him. So yeah, Suge on the phone. Oh, okay. Still not thinking nothing of it. Like, yeah, man, they were trying to convince me that, I don't know how they thought this could work, even if I wanted to do it, to give your contracts to Big U And Suge is saying something about, this is the only guy in Los Angeles that you scared of. Those words never came out of Big U mouth. I'm not gonna put that. Came out of Suge's mouth. Oh yeah? Well, what you tell him? So I told him, man, we've been doing business with this man. He's like family. I gotta ask you to lead the office. Great. So I'm kind of in the pickle. I don't know how to feel about it. So I said, all right, I'll wait a week. I wanted to see if Big U was gonna call me and tell me this happened. Hey man, I went down there, Suge had me go down there, said he was gonna negotiate a deal. He started saying some crazy. I had no idea he was gonna say this. This is what I'm hoping to hear. After we got on here nothing, so I called him once. Tell a few of my comrades around me at the time, they know who they are. Well, everybody know was real close to me at the time, what happened. I even had that call too, when we addressed and got everybody on the phone. I'm like, yo, bro, you really went to my label? And, well, no, I didn't say it. Yeah, and about you said it, but you heard it being said in favor of you against me. Nobody could have sent me to the office saying, yo, give Wack Big U's contracts. I'm hold up. Yo, for one, I didn't tell you to do that. Two, I'm not here for that. Three, that can't happen.
Big U would once again respond to Wack's claims, saying that he was straight up lying and that he had never even been at Wack's label office.
It come down to like the Wack situation. Is everything cool with that, or that ain't nothing?
You know it ain't cool. Now I can speak on that. I mean, you would ask me that.
Okay.
I got one thing to say.
Yeah.
This lane talks about. This is the most beautiful thing. People just lie, and it kills me is how y'all allow people, not you, the people out there allow somebody to continue to tell lies. Let me address this one. I addressed the other one about developing options. I'm gonna address this one. I'm gonna give you this one.
Okay.
One, I have never been to Alan Grumblatch's office about a deal. I just heard about this one too. For Wack 100 company, because you can't do that. If you know the music business, and I'm pretty sure you do, in the podcast business, nobody can go get nobody's contract. That's the most ridiculous I ever heard.
Wack had been active on the social media platform Clubhouse pretty much since the beginning, when it became a semi-viral hit during the early COVID pandemic. And eventually, the app became Wack's favorite social media to use, and he would build a real business around the platform, arguably becoming synonymous with it and the main face of Clubhouse. But Clubhouse has always had a limited reach due to its strategy of being more exclusive than other social medias, giving it a much more underground vibe where news would be breaking for the first time, rather than a viral platform like Instagram where news reaches the masses. However, in 2023, Wack would start a weekly podcast with Adam22 on the No Jumper platform, giving him a much bigger reach and a perfect outlet to attack Big U.
Any truth to the rumor that you put an alleged leader or a higher up from the other side? Is there any truth to the idea that you might have leaked their address or doxed them in some way?
Who address?
We'll edit this out. Big U?
I don't know his address offhand.
Okay. That's not true? Because somebody said that to me and I was like, wow, that seems over the line.
Well, you know, they hollering my address.
Oh, so it is true.
No, I don't know the direct address.
Okay.
But they
just to cap this off, what would have to happen between Big U and you to make
Listen, me and Big U know how to deal with each other, bro.
Right.
I don't even want to mention the man's name, but his little homies keep coming on there in the name of him, dissing the set, dissing my neighborhood, mentioning my family. Who's important? Big U?
Big U's not.
How's he an important figure in hip hop? When? Where?
I mean, he's someone who's got connection to like almost every rapper out of LA, right?
No, wait, let's correct that, bro. Like, y'all get that dude a little too much credit. A lot of those connections come from guys like Suge, guys like me, guys like a few of his homeboys over there, right? That put him with people. Let's be real. What has he done in hip hop?
Okay.
If my name was on paperwork with contracts with the police, with police cell phones, they would hang me out to dry. If one of my homeboys was told me that I snitched on him with an alias and went on record to say it, they'd hang me out to dry. If a female said that Wack baited her down, locked the door, and beat her while she was pregnant, they would hang me out to dry. Now, does he get the popularity vote of the streets? Yes.
See, this is what I was just saying.
Yes.
And of course, Big U wasn't the only one who Wack was making some explosive claims about. He would also famously claim that there was a gay tape starring none other than Nipsey Hussle, as he would explain on a DJ Vlad interview.
But to be fair, then you started kind of going hard at Nipsey. You said that there's a gay tape and like that.
Yo, Vlad, one thing you better not never do is question what come out of my mouth. You worth a lot of money. I got $5 million. You want to bet?
I know. I'm not going to bet you. I'm not going to bet you.
Okay, let's break it down to me some plump nigga. I got $1 million.
Okay.
Do you want to bet?
I'm not going to bet you.
Vlad, no. Because you said, right, and it didn't come out of my mouth. Hassan Campbell recorded the conversation and released it.
That's where it came out.
It's only because of me that the damn tape still ain't came out today.
But then, during the Adam and Wack show, he would go further and say that Big U had wanted Wack to release the tape so that he could use it in a legal battle against his estate, daring Big U to get out of line so that Wack can release proof of that.
Right, but guess who else seen him and wanted me to release him?
Who?
Big U.
Why?
Because Lord London wasn't cooperating with him, and he felt like he had some leeway with the baby mama that's starring in the videos.
Oh,
right?
Okay, so this is before her, right?
He can manage her. No, this is with her.
During his time with Lauren?
Yeah, so he can manage her, get her out the way, release that. Then in the flip side, he wanted me to turn around and go at the Nipsey Hussle estate and sue them for 30% of his contract. And he wanted me to make it look like I brought out his contract and now I'm going after his estate. I said, bro, check this out. I'm not releasing the tapes, right? I'm not doing that. Dude got kids. Me and Nip ain't had no problems. On Paru, we ain't had no problems. Talk on the phone, right? And you was just with this man every day in the studios and all this. Did you have this conversation about this 30% then? Don't wait till he die and then want to do that. That I want. It's all on my phone. I dare him to get out of line.
For the record, this tape has still never surfaced and many people are still not convinced of its existence. Big U, on the other hand, was staying relatively quiet during this time, and at least on the surface, it seemed that he was doing good. And so was his family, with his son getting drafted into the NFL by the Los Angeles Chargers. But behind the scenes, things were about to go bad for Big U, because his trusted enforcer, Loose Cannon, had seemingly had falling out with him. And coming into 2024, Loose Cannon's loose lips would begin to put Big U's dirt out there for the whole world to hear, as Loose would eventually begin rolling with Wack 100 and appearing with him on the No Jumper podcast. On the 21st of January 2024, No Jumper released an Adam and Wack show episode where Loose Cannon made numerous explosive claims.
You made it to the end. Now make it official. Subscribe to Giziano where the best keeps getting better.